What's up, sports fans? It's your man D back. Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. Alright, check it out, man. We're talking about American media making a mockery of the sport of boxing. At least right here in America. That's right, American media is making a mockery of the sport of boxing. And we are, in social media, responsible for a lot of it. And I'm gonna break it down. For the love of sports, let's talk about it. Alright, so check this out, man. Ryan Garcia has been endorsed by Gatorade. According to Yahoo Sports, Gatorade has decided to endorse Ryan Garcia. Okay? Now, it's been a while since Gatorade's picked up to endorse a boxer, a professional boxer. Alright? And they've decided to endorse none other than Ryan Garcia. And see, here's the thing. That's why I say that American media is making a mockery of this sport of boxing. You look at the top stars in this sport here recently. Look at these guys. Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, Errol, the true Spence, my guy, and Deontay Wilder. These guys represent the top, most popular American boxers here, in the past 5 or 6 years. These are the guys. And, a lot of Americans would like to count Canelo. No, he's a Mexican star. We can't count Canelo. A lot of Americans would love to claim Manny Pacquiao. No, he's a Filipino star. Since Floyd Mayweather, Deontay Wilder, Gervonta Tank Davis, Errol the True Spence Jr., now Ryan Garcia has been America's biggest stars in boxing. And so much big stars that Gatorade now has decided to endorse Ryan Garcia. Now, shout out to Ryan Garcia. No hate on that kid. Get your money, kid. I'm definitely happy for you because whether it's football, basketball, baseball, boxing, it doesn't matter. These commissions and leagues and the guys that make the money, they're exploiting these kids. They're making Googles of money. Trust and believe, if they can pay these athletes the type of money they pay them, then the people who put this stuff together, they make Googles of money off of it. And so these athletes that risk their health and give up their time away from their families and, in combat sport, risk their lives. No hate on those guys. Get your money. Get your money while the getting is good, because the lifespan of an athlete, there's a short window. So allow these guys to get their money. But when it comes to our sport of boxing, the American media is making a mockery of this sport. And it's because who the media is deciding to celebrate, to pump up as stars of this sport. What does it take to become a star in this sport these days? Greatness, accomplishment, achievements. It appears to mean nothing anymore. And Errol the Truth Spence is one of my top 5 fighters. And this is not a knock on these guys. But let's just analyze the level of accomplishments, achievements, and what they've done in this sport compared to the stars of yesteryear. The Alis, the Sugar Rays, the Tysons, the Lennox Lewises, the Joe Calzaghes, Roy Jones Jr., Bernard Hopkins, Oscar De La Hoyas. These guys that reached the pinnacle in this sport. Look at what they did to achieve and accomplish. What does it take in this day's market? Errol the Truth Spence, my favorite out of these 4 guys, is a unified champion at 147. And that's where it stops. 2 belts at 147. One of the biggest American stars here in the past 5 to 10 years. Deontay Wilder, 10 title defenses as a heavyweight champion. We know that heavyweights are the most popular, is the most popular division in boxing. However, Deontay Wilder actually brought American heavyweight boxing back on the scene. Celebrated star Tank Davis, Gervonta Tank Davis. We know the fiasco that Floyd and Ellaby has been carrying the fans through concerning Gervonta Tank Davis. Another huge star for the American sport of boxing. And now, Ryan Garcia, endorsed by none other than Gatorade. When we look back in history, when we look back at what it meant to be endorsed by Sports Illustrated or Wheaties or Gatorade, let's take a look at some of the stars. Some of the other athletes that accomplished, that achieved, that reached the pinnacle. And Gatorade decided to slap their face, in front of their product to endorse the product. You cannot blame the marketers. You can't blame Gatorade that the sports fans, the boxing fans, the boxing world is praising this kid. What marketers do is see where the attention is, and that's where they go to. So obviously there is a lot of attention on Ryan Garcia, a lot more than fans may believe there is. There's a lot of eyes on him. So much that Gatorade decided to endorse him. But look at these stars. What has Ryan done compared to these stars of these other sports? It appears that they've reached the pinnacle. But again, American media makes a mockery of this sport because these four guys are the guys that we've celebrated in boxing in America. And when we look at what they've accomplished compared to the guys around them, some guys right here in America, the Terrence Bud Crawfords, the Teofimo Lopez, the Jermell Charlos, guys right here in America that have accomplished more, but not even noticed. What happened to the idea of these other stars that we see on, endorsed by Gatorade? What happened to that idea? To be great, to achieve, to accomplish. And guys, it gets deeper because social media has a bigger voice than mainstream media when it comes to the sport of boxing, believe it or not. We, as the content creators on YouTube, Instagram, guys that put out the messages on Twitter and Facebook, content creators on Facebook, we control the narrative. We are the voice of the boxing community when it comes to media. Social media has taken over. And it is you guys that are responsible for this mockery. Because again, the marketers are only going to go along with the voice of the people. And the people have spoken. Ryan Garcia is the biggest star in boxing today. Like it or love it. Don't get angry. If you want to get angry that he's the biggest star in boxing today, get angry at yourselves. Because it's many of you that's justifying this fight with Manny Pacquiao. Because Ryan deserves it. So get angry at yourself that American media is making a mockery of our sport of boxing. Get angry at yourselves. All of my fellow content creators that's pumping up this Manny Pacquiao and Ryan Garcia fight. Get angry at yourselves that American media is making a mockery of the sport of boxing right here in America. And it's because of you guys, my fellow content creator. It's because of you guys that these four guys are pushed as the pinnacle of American boxing, regardless of their accomplishments, regardless of their achievements, regardless of the level of skill they possess. These are the guys who have been pushed as the pinnacle of American boxing. There's a problem, and the problem is all of us. We need to stop celebrating the guys that are doing the least. We need to stop celebrating the guys that have the Instagram followers. We need to stop celebrating the guys that are not dedicated in their craft, focused in the gym, mentally stable. We're celebrating the wrong guys. We're pushing the wrong narratives to the newcomer boxing fans and the boxing fans that exist, all of my fellow content creators. We're pushing fights like Manny Pacquiao and Ryan, like, hey, it's okay. And Gatorade sees that, and Gatorade says, hey, that kid is the star of boxing. So, don't get angry. Congratulate yourselves. Congratulate yourselves, my fellow content creators, my fellow boxing fans, my fellow social media warriors. Congratulate yourselves, because it's you guys that have put Ryan on the face of Gatorade, because the marketers are only going to follow us. We're the media. We're the voice now of boxing. This is a perfect example of why we need to stop supporting these nonsensical fights. Stop being mad at the other side. See, a lot of you channels out there are just mad at the other side. It's not really about Ryan. Manny Pacquiao can do what he wants. No. You guys are just mad at the other side. That community we all know of that supports and shows pride to the African American man. You guys are just mad at that side. So instead of paying attention to boxing, the love of boxing, and what this type of foolery is doing to our sport, you guys want to support it to spite the other side. Vice versa. When Tank was out there, he only wanted to stand behind Tank for the African American pride and spite the other sides. Not since Floyd Mayweather, who actually achieved and accomplished. These are the stars that we're privy to today in American boxing. And it's our fault. New media, true media, social media. It's our fault. It's us. We're the American media that has made a mockery of the sport of boxing. Stop supporting these nonsensical fights. Stop supporting these boxers that are not accomplishing and achieving. Stop supporting the foolery. Because you're the media, my fellow content creators. Facebook, IG, YouTube. We're the new media. Stop supporting the bullshit. Because once you do, then this changes. Gatorade won't be looking at guys like Ryan. Maybe they'll be looking at Kazuta Ioka. Maybe they'll be looking at guys like Alexander Usyk that could actually get back-to-back full belt undisputed. Will he do it? Who knows? Maybe they'll look at guys like Teofimo Lopez within 16 fights, the things that he's accomplished. Maybe the media will look at guys like Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez that's in line to accomplish full belt undisputed the right way. Maybe they'll look at a guy like Terrence Crawford, who's a 3-division champion, full belt undisputed, number one, arguably pound for pound on a lot of people's list. Maybe they'll look at these guys, you know? Maybe they'll start looking at the guys that are actually out there accomplishing. Kosei Tanaka, Juan Francisco Estrada Chocolatito, Naoya Inoue. Maybe they'll look at these guys for the marketing instead of the guys who are not accomplishing a damn thing in this sport of boxing. So you guys need to stop helping make the sport of boxing a mockery in America. Stop supporting the wrong bullshit. That's the message I want to put out in this video. And y'all know how I always in this thing. For the love of sports. Let's talk about it. Peace.